very good evening and welcome to Prime TV News, coming to you live and direct from the Prime TV studios with me, Abrar Abid. Now, before we go into our stories in detail, let's take a look at our headlines. Prime Minister begins his Maldivian tour. 4 agreements are signed. President says the government's aim is to create an educated society. Professor Carlo Fonseca passes away. Custody of Zahran's daughter entrusted to the wife's parents. Bahamas battered by monster storm. In our lead story, President Maithripala Sirisena has said that the teachers should intervene to make the child a subject matter expert and a humanist. The president made this observation joining in a function organized to hand over graduate teacher appointments to those who have passed in the Western Provincial Teacher Examination. Graduate teacher appointments were handed over to 587 in the first round from among 15,000 applicants who sat the teacher competitive examination held in June 2019. The event was held at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute. Symbolizing the teacher appointment, the president handed over the letters of appointments to 10 teachers. Addressing the gathering, President Maithripala Sirisena said that the future of a child is being decided through the teacher. As such, the president mentioned that decisions with respect to children should be taken with a broad awareness. Speaking further, the president said that one of the motives of the government is to create an educated society which provides equal opportunities for the people. He pointed out the need for teachers to upgrade their knowledge in par with technology to sustain themselves in the profession. The president stressed the need for teachers to help support the process of rearing educated and decent children as intellectuals to society. While mentioning that teachers play a decisive role in a student's future, Mr. Sirisena noted that they must have a deep understanding on matters concerning children while making decisions related to them. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has decided to keep away from the chairmanship of the Dayaka Sabha until the chief incumbent of the Kelaniya Raja Mahavihara is acquitted of property charges levelled against him. Accordingly, reports that the Prime Minister has been removed as chairman of the Kelaniya Raja Mahavihara are false. The Prime Minister has decided to keep away from the chairmanship of the Dayaka Sabha as he cannot have any links over the responsibilities of the charges levelled against the chief incumbent of the Vihara. The United National Party has clarified reports that the Prime Minister has been removed as the chairman of the Kelaniya Raja Mahavihara chairmanship and published in the social media. The UNP said that the Prime Minister has pointed out that it is important that the chief incumbent be acquitted of all the charges. Also, the Prime Minister did not attend the Dayaka Sabha meeting held yesterday and that he is not aware of a decision taken by a small group. Renowned physician and academic Professor Carlo Fonseca has passed away at the age of 86. Professor Carlo Fonseca passed away this afternoon. His remains will be handed over to the Ragama Medical College according to his last will. The student generation he groomed to the local education field for several decades is immense. Not only a fan of the aesthetic art but also a critic of the times, he entered the field of music as a songwriter, producing some of his most memorable songs. He was a strong character in leftist politics. He advocated a tradition of social justice and principled politics. His ideology was an example not only to his nephews Vijay Kumaratunga but also to Ranjan Ramanayaka, the Minister of State and all politicians in general. He has held numerous positions, including as chairman of the Sri Lanka Arts Council as well as the chairman of the Sri Lanka Medical Council. He is also a discourse speaker based on science instead of myth on rationalist ideas. Although a Western physician, Professor Carlo was also a preacher of indigenous medicine. In the words of Professor Carlo Fonseca, he is a senior democratic citizen who appreciates Sri Lankan identities and believes in humanitarianism, which encompasses modern scientific thinking. ITN salutes this great man who passed away. In more news at home, new chairman of the National Youth Services Council, attorney Kanishka Surinamala Rajapaksa, has said that his prime aim is to groom a youth generation that could provide leadership to the country through self-capabilities and strength. He expressed this view assuming duties at the Maharagama National Youth Services Centre. He assumed office amidst religious observances. Kanishka Surinamala Rajapaksa, who is an attorney by profession, had also served as a member of Board of Directors of the National Youth Services Council. He is the son of the late Surinamala Rajapaksa, who was a former minister. A group including his family members joined in the occasion. The 4-year-old daughter of the leader of the National Tawheed Jamaat organization, Mohammad Zahran, has been entrusted to the parents of his wife. There is more information on court cases taken up for hearing today. The Criminal Investigations Department made a request from the judiciary to direct to a suitable guardianship the daughter of Mohammad Zahran. Accordingly, she was entrusted to the parents of his wife. However, the Kuliapitiya probation officer was ordered to supervise the child. A fundamental rights petition seeking a Supreme Court order to freeze assets belonging to ETI Finance Company and its board of directors has been fixed for the 4th of December. The petition had been filed by the ETI Depositors Association. The petitioners claim that the company has failed to pay interest to more than 2,500 of its members who have deposited around 20 billion rupees in the company. During a previous hearing, ETI Finance Company had told court that the company would be restructured under a new investor in near future. The 5 suspects with respect to attacking and committing the murder of the manager of a salon in the Kompanyuwedia area have been further remanded. They have been remanded until the 9th of this month. The remand order was issued by the Colombo Fort Magistrate. Japan. The head and the remains of the Zion Church suicide bomber are due to be exhumed from the Kalyankadu cemetery premises today. This was as per the order of Batticaloa Magistrate A.C. Rizwan delivered to the District Secretary of Batticaloa. The head of this murderer, Mohammad Nazar Mohammad Asad, who unleashed a suicide attack on the Zion Church, was buried in the Kalyankadu Hindu burial grounds in Batticaloa on orders of the Batticaloa Magistrates Court. But strong protests were raised against this move, surfacing an unrest. After an intimation made to court by the Batticaloa District Secretary, orders were issued to exhume it and bury in a suitable location. Orders were also issued to place at the Batticaloa Hospital under police security until a decision was taken on a suitable position to bury it. In more news at home, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe states that Sri Lanka and the Maldives have an important role to play in establishing regional peace as small islands in the Indian Ocean. Premier Wickremesinghe made this statement during a media briefing in Maldives. The Prime Minister is visiting the Maldives following an invitation extended to him by the Maldivian Prime Minister Ibrahim Saleh. The Prime Minister and his entourage were warmly welcomed at the Villena International Airport in the Mali capital. Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid and a group joined in the occasion. Thereafter, the visitors, including the Prime Minister, were conducted to the Mali capital, Republic Square, in a special trawler procession. On arrival, they were welcomed by the Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Saleh and Maldivian ministers. A 7-gun salute was accorded in honor of Premier Wickremesinghe. The visitors were then conducted to the President's house in the Maldives in a dancing procession depicting the culture of the Maldives.
It is essential. Basically, Sri Lanka and Maldives have always been together. There were in many ways in which we could work together, we could share experiences, and those were really the support we needed in those trying months just after the bomb blast. But it is in this we recognize that terror is a threat to all of us and that we shall work together. We are also feeling climate change. As the weather patterns change, more frequent floods, that is impacting on us, in addition to the fact that our population numbers are increasing. Therefore, we have suggested that we should coordinate actions in the global fora as well as the measures that we could take bilaterally. And also the Indian Ocean region, we have to ensure there's peace in the Indian Ocean and in the Pacific. That peace and freedom means development. So it's in our interest to ensure peace in the Indian Ocean. And we, the small island states, they have an important role to play.
The Prime Minister and I also discussed international issues of mutual concern. We both reiterated that climate change is an urgent threat that needs our immediate attention and agreed to work together to strengthen the global response. The Prime Minister and I also agreed to redouble our efforts to protect our people from the threat of terrorism. I reiterated to the Prime Minister our deepest sympathies to the government and people of Sri Lanka for the terrorist attack in April this year, to a revival of relations between not only our two countries and our neighbors, but across the globe. Mr. Prime Minister, I thank you most sincerely for the close and personal commitment to strengthen and enhance Maldives-Sri Lanka relations. I wish Your Excellency and the people of Sri Lanka peace, progress and prosperity.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is due to chair the Indian Ocean Conference, which will be held tomorrow and the day after in the Maldives island. 4 agreements aimed at consolidating cooperation between the two countries, granting of visa facilities, social protection, vocational training and youth development as well as higher education were also signed. Ministers Rauf Hakim, Vajrabe Wardana and Daya Gamage, as well as State Minister Anoma Gamage and Prime Minister's Secretary Saman Ekanayake are accompanying the Prime Minister in his visit. In more news at home, the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment states the program of providing employment opportunities to Sri Lankans in Japan is being carried out in 2 main methods. These job opportunities are available according to an agreement signed between Sri Lanka and Japan recently. Applicants seeking employment with technical in-service training are required to have a recognized qualification in Japanese language proficiency. The workers will have to pay for their own personal expenses. Approval fees and approved employment agencies can be obtained from the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment website. Applications should be made through the Bureau or through its approved private employment agencies. Under the employment contract for those with special skills, workers can apply for employment in 14 areas. Under this, no local employment agency is allowed to recruit. Eligible candidates should fill in the application form available on the Bureau website. The Foreign Employment Bureau has requested job seekers not to be deceived by fraudulent individuals and corporations who charge money for Japanese jobs. And that is all the news for today. Do join us again tomorrow for the very latest. A very good evening and take care.